Good evening. It is February 8th, 2024, and I would like to welcome you all and to call to order the meeting of the South Brunswick Township Board of Education. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Okay. All right, I'd like to read the statement of advance notice. The New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10-4-6, also known as the Sunshine Law, was enacted to ensure the right of the public to have advance notice of and to attend the meetings of public bodies at which any business affecting their interest is discussed or acted upon. The primary purpose is for board members to discuss and vote on board business. In accordance with the provisions of this act, the board secretary has caused notice of this meeting 48 hours prior, including date, time, location, to be posted in the South Brunswick Public Library and the board office, filed with the township clerk, and communicated to the Home News Tribune and the Star Ledger. It is also posted on the district website. Mr. Pawlowski, may we have roll call?
Ms. Julie Ferrara? Ms. Laura Hernandez?
Here.
Ms. Deepa Karthik?
Here.
Ms. Alicia Khan?
Here.
Mr. Raja Krishna? Mr. Mike Mitchell?
Present.
Mr. Barry Nathanson?
Do not make a motion.
Dr. Smita Raj?
Easier this way.
Mrs. Lisa Rogers?
Here.
Am I having a sound issue with our community that's online? You good? Okay, we have a quorum.
Thank you, sir. May I have approval of the meeting agenda? Mr. Mitchell, second. Dr. Raj, thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Any nay? Motion moved. Okay. Next order of business is the board minutes of January 18th. Board Secretary Mr. Pawlowski drafted the minutes from January 18th, 2024 meeting is posted on the board portal. Are there any corrections to the minutes as distributed? Laura, anything? Nope. Good. Thank you. Since there's a no, the minutes stand as written and are approved. The next order of business is the student representative report. Defan Lee.
All right, good evening, everyone. This report is rather long, so buckle in. Starting off with some news from the high school, on January 26th, Student Council hosted the first pep rally of the year to recognize our winter athletes and showcase the talents of our different school organizations. There were performances by the dance team, a talented group of staff, our cheerleaders, Temptation, and we even welcomed a phenomenal performance by our drumline. Several of our clubs and all of our class councils participated in games during the event, and at the end, Mr. Kostavny and Ms. Bufus's first block classes won Most Spirited First Block, and the class of 2024 earned the Spirit Cup for overall Best School Spirit. Student Council is selling Valentine's Day carnations that will be delivered during first block on Valentine's Day with personalized notes. We are very excited to announce that contestant registration has opened for Mr. SBHS, an event that Student Council hosts annually to showcase the skills and talents of our senior class. This year's theme is Mr. SBHS Goes Around the World. Student Council also recently launched the first episode of their Tiny Talks podcast, which will be used to showcase different events and happenings of the high school. Student Council is also proudly celebrating Black History Month. There are several bulletin boards and showcase displays. We also recognize National Heart Health Awareness Day by wearing red on February 3rd. Our class councils have joined in the Valentine's Day spirit and are selling candygrams and teddy bears during lunches to be delivered on Valentine's Day. The class of 2026 is bringing back Bagel Fridays starting February 16th. Tonight, SB Earth is hosting a coffee house with food, drinks, and live performances. Amnesty is hosting an Art for Amnesty event on March 1st, where art will be created for human rights and activism. The Viking Closet presents the Red Carpet Prom Dress event on February 17th with required registration. The SBHS Art Club is also selling t-shirts, and pre-orders can be made through the online form. Congratulations to the chess team for winning the Shore High School Chess League Capablanca Division Champions. A special congratulations to the top performing seniors on the team: Ishan Sinha, Vignesh Saravanakumar, Aryan Kashyap, and Frederick Rajakumar. The team will be competing in the playoffs on Wednesday next week. If you would like to help support this team, they are selling apparel, including t-shirts and crew necks, and orders can be made via a Google form located on Google Classroom and their Instagram account. HOSA competed on February 3rd in the Southern Regional HOSA competition and came out with 11 medals. These include Ahana Sil for medical spelling, Megha Raj for behavioral health, Kaushal Krishnamurthy for medical math, Sana Jagasia for sports medicine, Vibhikshu Ananthu for dental terminology, Bruce Zhang for dental science, Shivali Pandya for prepared speaking, Murthy Ganaraja for medical law and ethics, and the following students came in first place for EMT, Kushi Ramtaki and Navika Sharma. Congratulations, HOSA. The SBHS Library hosted award-winning author Jeff Zentner for a visit on January 23rd. Mr. Zentner, whose book, Goodbye Days, is being read by our 9th grade English students, presented 3 sessions to over 1,000 SBHS students. Thank you to the SBHS PTO for their generous donation, which made this visit possible. SBHS hosted the first South Brunswick Reads Night last Wednesday evening. Families from across the district attended and enjoyed listening to guest speakers, a presentation by a local author, and fun activities planned by district teachers and South Brunswick public librarians, along with cookies and cocoa provided by our district PTOs. We hope to make this event an annual tradition. Now from athletics, Mihir Vig of the girls basketball team became the newest member of the school's 1,000-point club on Saturday, February 3rd against Monroe High School. As one of our captains, Mihir has been on varsity for all 4 years of high school and helped lead the team to the 6th seed in the GMC tournament. Boris Sozin broke 2 school records for the boys swim team in the 50 freestyle and the 100 freestyle. Anna Rozansky broke the junior class record in the 50 freestyle. Boys and girls swim teams are on their way to the second round in the state tournament. The girls' winter track and field team won the GMC Red Division title on January 20th and also finished second overall in the GMC Championship. On February 4th, the team finished third at the Central Jersey Group 4 Sectional Championship and had 6 athletes qualify for the Group 4 State Championship meet on February 17th. That's all I have for everyone today, and I hope you all have a wonderful night.
Great. Thank you very much. I appreciate the update. Next order of business is the report of the president. So just a couple points. The Middlesex County School Board's meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, March 6th at 6:45 a.m. It is known that Senate Ed Committee Chair Senator Vin Gopal from Monmouth County will be present. If you're interested in going, registration details were sent to each board member. Also, the South Brunswick School District member orientation guide has been updated. It's been reviewed by Laura. Ms. Hernandez, our Vice President.
My mother calls me.
Please review it when you have the opportunity. Also, please advise if you find anything that you would like to see added or corrected. New Jersey School Board's governance training also is underway. I know many of you went, but please make sure, those that have not, please make sure you followed up with Mary Ann Murphy for scheduling. The committee meeting dates, they are loaded in the portal calendar, so if you haven't seen them yet, please make note of them so you can, you have a note on your personal calendar of the dates that you're required to go to committee meetings. I also just want to make a note also that the first edition of the district weekly newsletter that is sent to the school community each Thursday contained the first board's corner report. We will continue to provide the community with informational guides regarding Board of Ed meetings and helpful information. For more information, you can visit the school district website for each edition and access to all of the guides regarding Board of Education efforts. And finally, the board would like to extend a congratulations out to Ms. Blair Eisman, the Director of Program and Professional Development. It is our understanding that she is soon to be published for her book, and the book title is As Long as Your Heart Beats. So we want to send our hearty congratulations out to Blair. Great job. And that's all I have. Thank you. Next order of business is the report of the superintendent, Mr. Fetter.
All right, welcome everyone. Congrats to our VFW essay contest recipients. We'll be hearing from them in a little bit. Gonna just share really quick so the board is in full knowledge of the date. We are expecting either this month or the governor could move his address out, but by the first week of March, we will know our state aid numbers. As you all know, that is a gigantic issue for the district. We are currently slated to lose over $5 million in state aid. That mounting with the other issues of rolling over a budget and all the things I've shared about 100 times, it feels like at this point, results in over $10 million of loss scheduled right now for next year. We are certainly hoping to do that. We have an advocacy committee. There are hopefully things in the works that will stop that from happening to that level. We are working to try and ensure that something happens that does not allow that to happen to the district. So we'll keep you up to date on that. We are going to be doing a lot once the state aid numbers come out. Once the state aid numbers come out, we are going to hold forums for the community and forums for the staff. What we want to avoid is people being able to correctly say they were unaware. I still know people will say they're unaware, but I don't want them to be correctly saying that they were not given the opportunity to learn and to know. That is going to happen once we know our numbers. Until then, it's all just not worth doing at this point because there's not enough information to do that. But that's coming. So just everyone, we will advertise, we will give opportunity, we will let our community be fully aware of the potential of what it could mean to lose $10+ million, just so everyone's aware. We have kindergarten registration opening on the 24th and 25th. For the 25 school year, on February 15th it starts. So if you know kindergartners, we need them, get them in, and we'll start taking them in next week. All right, I'm going to ask the board. This is a dangerous thing for me to do. I'm going to ask a question I don't know the answer to, but we're going to try this. So this will be a little bit of board participation tonight. All right. So on Monday we have a delayed opening. Okay, delayed opening. So I'd like to ask the board what they believe the community feels about a delayed opening on Monday.
Dangerous.
I'm interested in what you believe the community feels about that decision. Anybody, feel free.
Start down there. Laura? Laura will start.
Laura will start. I believe that some of the community does not realize the rationale behind taking that. They don't realize that we owe back the teachers the time because they stay for night conferences. So contractually, we give them back that time that they gave to us to meet with parents, to discuss the process of their students, the progression of their students. So we kind of looked at it and said, okay, well, you gave us time and you stayed and you met with parents well into 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night. So what would be the best way for us to give you back time that contractually we need to do? So we said, let's look at the dates we can do. And with looking at the dates, we came up with, superintendent, we agreed to it, we voted on it, that we would do it on this particular day.
Okay, anyone else?
Ms. Farrar?
I believe that it should be a holiday.
Oh, wait.
holiday?
Hold on. Wait. I'm going to rephrase the question.
Please.
Okay.
Simply, what do you believe the community believes or feels about us having a delay on Monday?
Well, I would hope that some of them appreciate knowing that it is the day after Super Bowl.
Okay. Anybody else?
Dr. Raj?
Yeah, so it cuts both ways because some people, they need to go to work. They don't get the time delay. So they will be inconvenienced, but yeah, Super Bowl is a big thing. So a lot of people would appreciate that time, that extra few minutes to snooze.
Okay, fair.
Mr. Nathan?
Once looking at social media, once they realized what it was for, they understood it. There were some interesting comments that really didn't have anything to do with the day. I don't think when we negotiated that, the thought even hit us, oh, that's Super Bowl Monday. It was just a day to give back time. It was that simple. So I don't think it should be a big deal, but.
Remember the question?
I know the question.
Okay.
Okay, so first of all, I don't believe well, I have not received any communication from anybody via email, phone calls from the community. I don't know, I don't believe any of you either have, because we didn't get anything. So the community, as far as I know, has not responded negatively or positively via email or notified the board of their feelings, other than on just watching things happen on social media. So as far as I am concerned, other than maybe half a dozen individuals on social media, no one has concern about it, because it is a way not only for the district to give back to the teachers, that's part of the negotiations, but also there are some kids and it's no problem if they choose to do it, but prior to this decision, they may come in late or they may call out sick. So it assists the teachers in ensuring that the students, there's hopefully 100% of the students. But
just what the
as
community
far as I
thinks.
know,
That's it.
no community
Not our
problems.
opinion.
Other
Yeah.
than maybe 6 on Facebook,
Okay.
unusually.
Anybody else? Okay. One of the things that, if you watch TV, I mean, Lisa Manganello, our school librarian at the high school, how many, where's Pete? How many different news outlets have been interested? We were trying to get her a shoe deal, I think, now. A ton. About information literacy and how do kids manage that. So I'm going to do a little, that was a premise to see what people are thinking or what you think they're thinking based upon the reality that no one has reached out to us. But yet, what happens is social media and with kids, the idea of if enough people say it, or there's enough likes, or there's enough activity around a topic, people then tend to believe that is the sentiment of the group. So what we did is we took a social media post on Facebook, and we decided to disaggregate the data a little bit for some fun, because I have nothing else to do, so I just want to look through data of Facebook. This was the title of the post. Anyone know why there is a delayed opening the day after Super Bowl? Fair question. Now, we will ask the public, if you actually care about an actual answer, this is the worst place to get it.
Facebook,
Like
not
by 1,000-fold. I have an email. It has not changed in 7 years. And I will answer questions when they come to me. Promise. Promise. So, there were 138 comments about that question. Of those 138 comments, 24 people represented all 138 of those comments. Now here's the fun part. Of the 24 people that had a comment about this topic, 17 of them have no kids in the school. Which means 7 people had a comment about this topic. Yet, if people are reading it, you might believe, whoa, there's a lot of activity going on, a lot of interest. We want to teach students how to discern information on social media. But I think we have to start with adults sometimes, right? Before we could teach students, we definitely have to start with adults on how to discern. So, of those comments, some were simply explanatory, their version of why they think it was. Some people were right. Some people made up interesting ideas of why they think they were right. Some people liked the idea. Some people thought it was the worst thing in the world. But the most angry people would make a dozen or so comments. And those comments weren't just an opinion. It had to be like as if they were not speaking to humans.
Yeah.
It becomes degrading. It becomes rude, disrespectful. True anger at something, and they would say it over and over again, over and over again. And then some people would jump in, and I'm giving you this example because this is a very innocuous example. This is kind of an irrelevant situation. I'm not using a real one. I mean, it's a real situation, it's real data. But the anger that people bring and the forgetfulness that their name and picture is next to the comments they write. And for some reason, social media has made it so people completely black out the concept that I am speaking to other humans. They just lose it. Even though their name and picture is there, it's a whole different persona that exists on social media. We want our kids to understand that. So we're going to keep trying to figure that out. To give you another example, separate from that, on what people will say on social media without considering the humans they hurt. Now, I'll say this. Listen, I'm the superintendent. I can be a target. I don't care. Make me a target. Do it all you want. Don't really care. But I'm going to read two comments to you that are about as thoughtless and inhumane as you get. And they are because people either, when they write on social media, do not understand that when you're on social media and the words you say hurt just as much as if the person was sitting in front of you. I don't know what happened to our society that concept is gone. Not for everybody, but for a lot of people. So here's the comment after the horrible bus accident, where we have 3 people who lost their lives, a bus driver who is suffering from that accident, other people who helped, who felt that, and students that were on that bus. There are still people that could care less about that, could absolutely care less. In fact, this person, I'm going to do this person a solid and not use their name, but trust me, I want to use their name. I want it posted up there, and I think everyone should see it. Here's what the person wrote after that accident. I raised some concerns about the South Brunswick bus drivers and their driving habits, and everyone attacked me on this site. I hope the people that attacked me are happy now. Happy what? That 3 people are dead? What are they happy about? This person chose to go on social media and say, I told you so. Now, I actually went deeper and I looked back at the comment that same person made 2 years ago, and that person made no comment about the South Brunswick bus drivers. Not a one. Didn't stop that person from completely not caring about what a comment would do. We need our students to fully understand the words that you put on social media are there for people to see, and they hurt just as much as if the person was sitting in front of you. It's going to be very hard as we keep talking in our schools about why are the students, since COVID, why is their behavior so different? Why is their speech so different? Why are kids so free to say things you can't imagine coming out of kids' mouths to other students or adults? Maybe they're watching social media in the South Brunswick sites. Maybe that's all they're doing, because that's all you do need to do. You can watch the adults and their parents making comments that could care less about humans. A second person, maybe more training is needed for bus drivers. How do you think that makes the drivers feel when an accident happens and 3 people die? And you decide, this is my chance to say, look at me, look how important I am. Who cares what other people feel? It's only social media. Yes, your name and your picture are sitting right there, but it's somehow forgotten. Please, parents, don't model this behavior for your kids. As teachers, keep trying to teach them not to understand what it means when you do this. I actually wrote a full letter to these people that I was going to post on the site, but I'm not allowed on that site. They won't accept me as a member. Do not know why, but I guess I'm not a resident, so I don't count here. But I was going to write it from the superintendent, and I did write it. I'm not going to read it. But as a superintendent, I've only written a note as a superintendent on a Facebook site. This would be the 4th time in 15 years that I felt the need to do that. That our parents need to be held accountable for both their and their children's behaviors and words. So as a result of this, we are going to be pushing forward with an idea we got from parents in this community whose child was spoken to in the most egregious manner. And they suggested we need to hold parents accountable too. I agree. And I'm watching, and while I can't read Facebook, because again, I'm not allowed on this site, people have no trouble sending me Facebook posts pretty much daily. We're going to try to work and support this community with both the appropriate use of social media, because it could be wonderful, but to teach children how to avoid not caring about other people in their words. It's so important, and it's debilitating what happens. So with that said, I'm going to move on, and I'm going to talk about something far better and more important. Well, maybe not more important, but far better. And that is, Saturday we hosted a robotics competition. So complete segue out of that into more happy. Tons of kids were there. It was crazy. And 41 teams from around the state, I think even New York and Delaware. And it was a tournament of champions. And there are private schools who go to that. Some private schools that cost $50,000 a student. And they are awesome teams. But it works out they're not quite as awesome as the South Brunswick teams. South Brunswick finished first and second, and first in the skills competition. And I'll tell you, this is, you got to see it. I encourage every board member to please make sure you get yourself to a robotics competition. Mike was with me for a little bit there, and it's truly, it's amazing what these kids are able to do. I don't quite understand it. These robots like climb things and jump, and I don't get it. I don't know. It's amazing. But congratulations to our robotics teams. Quick note, tomorrow's early release, I already talked about Monday, but Ed Foundation, I'm going to read this because I need to give them the credit for this. Ed Foundation, they do their whole bike tour, and all that's happening in June. They have Ed Foundation is hosting a poster contest that ends on February 29th. For those in grades 3 through 5, we ask that you encourage your students to design a poster to promote and encourage bike riders to join the Tour de South Brunswick Bike Ride fundraiser that takes place in June. Advise them to see their art teacher for more info and details. Other than that, everybody, I'm sorry to bring a somber tone to this, but I got to be honest with you. I got $10.8 million to cut out of this budget, and the last thing I want to do is sit here and watch parents treat each other the way they treat them and treat staff members because they're public servants, to treat them like they don't count. So when I see it, when it happens, then I will respond. And that's how it's going to be. So feel free. You know, it's like it's crazy, the same people over and over and over again. But then other people join in because it's so fun. So, okay, let's have some fun. My name's Scott Fetter, scott.fetter@sbschools.org. Feel free. I'm finished.
Thank you. Is there any comments or questions from Mr. Fetter? All right. So I just want to make 2 comments. First of all, again, congratulations to the robotics team. I also want to give a shout out to all the volunteers, not only on this particular team, but all the volunteers that help our students in every single school. These volunteers work also tirelessly, so I appreciate all the support that they've been given, and they give as well. I do want to, again, just note regarding the bus driver that was affected. You are in our thoughts and prayers, and we've commented via email to the bus driver, but I just want that individual to know that we're thinking about her as well as her husband and her whole family, as well as the individuals, unfortunately, that were killed in the accident. Our hearts go out to those families as well from the South Brunswick community. I do believe, and please correct me if I'm wrong, Mr. Fetter, that there was a teacher from Monroe that
No.
also, or was it Monroe?
Teacher from West Windsor Plainsboro.
West Windsor Plainsboro, I apologize. There was a teacher from West Windsor Plainsboro that happened to be there. So I also, again, want to thank her as well as their community and their school district in supporting her. And it is unfortunate what's happening on Facebook, but it happens right here in our meetings when people get up, and it happens every day. and it's not the way to teach your children. So please do better. Thank you. Yeah, you can make a comment, sure.
I just want to go backtrack a little bit, and this is going back to Lisa, when Lisa was talking about the board's corner on the website. A lot of times, the board members, we get hit up with certain things about what they would like us to do, what the public would like us to do, what they expect us to do, what we can do. One of the things we feel is vitally important is to let the public know what we can do and what our lane is and what our responsibility is as a board member and to you as a community. So that was one of the main reasons we came up with the board corner, so the public will know what to expect from your board members. And to put it simply, what is our lane? Like, what do we have privy to? Curriculum. Can I tell Peter, who's sitting over there, certain things in high school? No, that's his job. His job is to run that building. So we want to let the public know, because I will be completely honest, and this is Laura Hernandez speaking, before I got elected onto the board, and I have been in education for a very long time, I didn't realize exactly what the board members were to do and what they were not to do. So we felt that as a board, it was very important that South Brunswick members knew this. So please look on the board corner and see what we put. Lisa and I will be working on that, so you're informed of what we can and we cannot do.
Thank you. Any other comments or questions? Very good. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Feder, again, for your update. Thank you, Laura. Okay, moving on. We are going to now have a recognition this evening, and that is with the VFW, the Veterans of Foreign War contest winners. I'd like to now ask Mr. Medina, Jack Medina, to come up, who is the supervisor of ELA and Social Studies, to the podium to recognize the Voice of Democracy and Patriots Pen, those students, along with the Teacher of the Year.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Jack Medina. I am the English and Social Studies supervisor at the middle school level, and today I have the privilege of recognizing a couple of students and a teacher. So before delving into the specifics, I'm going to invite Board President Mrs. Lisa Rogers to come up to present those certificates. So each year, middle school and high school students participate in an essay contest, two of which are sponsored by the Veterans of Foreign Wars, the VFW. At the middle school level, students opt to compete in the Patriots Pen contest. Each year, kids who participate have to respond to some patriotic themed question. Just for some perspective, last year there was over 70,000 kids who participated. This year's prompt was, how are you inspired by America? So just how this works, kids who advance past the first round, they get to what's called the district round and the state round. We had one student advance to the district level. So this happens to be a 6th grade student at Crossroads North Middle School. He has Mrs. Christina Pelahatch as his language arts teacher, and we're thrilled to honor him. So I'm going to be calling him to the stage, and that is U-Day.
Hi, good evening, everyone. How are you doing today?
Good.
Okay. America, the land of opportunity, has the power to inspire anyone in countless ways, from its rich history, diverse culture, freedom, equality laws, and many more. A person could have other reasons to be inspired by America, but these are the reasons that I am inspired by America. Now, I am very inspired by America because it values people's right and it allows people to express themselves freely, whether it's through art, sports, or other activities. This freedom encourages kids to explore their passion, develop their talents. It teaches them to believe in their ability by opportunities and possibilities to achieve their goals and fulfill their dreams. Diverse culture in America inspires me a lot because it brings together different cultures from various ways. This equality respected in America and their unique traditions are accepted, no matter who they are, where they are from, how they look. Everyone is accepted and welcomed to follow their passions in the US, America. Laws in America inspire me a lot because it promotes justice, equality. It shows that everyone is treated fairly no matter who they are. This teaches about the importance of equality and how people should be treated the same way, no matter who they are. This gives opportunities for people from different gender, religions, or races to express themselves and their talents. The quote, "The American dream," is that any man or woman, despite of his or her background, can change their circumstances and rise as they willing to work, by Fabrizio Morio. This reveals that there is no description of sex, religion, race when they have the ability to grow. In conclusion, America inspires me and other people from different races, religions, and genders to be aware that everyone is treated equally with respect no matter who they are, where they come from, or how they look. These are the most reasons. These are more the most important reasons that why America has inspired me. Thanks.
You did a great job.
Great job.
Excellent job.
Excellent work.
Congratulations.
All right, so thank you very much, Uday. At this point, we are going to be transitioning to the high school competition, which is the Voices of Democracy program, which provides scholarships to winning students. So for this competition, not only do students have to write essays, but they also have to record their responses. And this year's question was, what are the greatest attributes of our democracy? So much like the middle school competition, we also had one student advance to the district level. So this is a student who, and we have the student's teacher represented in the audience today. So Mrs. Marissa Carlisi is here. And at this point, I'm going to call up this student to accept her certificate, and we are going to play her essay via the projector. So without further ado, please welcome me in congratulating Felicia Torito.
Equality, freedom, justice. These are just a few of the many words describing the government that our framers sought out. Establishing our nation on the basis of these ideals and creating a system to preserve the liberties of federal, state, and local individuals was a crucial aspect of determining the democracy we have today. Our democracy is founded on the principles of individual freedoms. These rights, enshrined in the United States Constitution, are essential to our way of life, including the freedom of speech and expression. My father, who served in the National Guard for 27 years and is now a part of the Department of Military and Veterans Affairs, instilled in me the importance of protecting these rights. Our democracy recognizes and honors the sacrifices made by veterans who have put their lives at risk to protect our country. Without the solid framework of our system, the federal government would not have been able to form and maintain a standing army like it does today. Furthermore, the right to vote is one of our most cherished privileges. In a monarchy, a king or dictator has absolute power, and people have no say in the government. However, in a democracy like ours, adult citizens have the right to vote and have their voices heard. Unfortunately, not all countries grant this privilege to their citizens. My great-grandfather came from Sarno, a small town in Italy where he witnessed voters being attacked outside the polls and beaten solely for voting for a candidate not backed by the attackers. Even after moving to this country, he was still petrified of voting and forbade his family members from voting as well. In his hometown, his voice was taken away from him, not able to be heard. We are fortunate to live in a society where we do not currently have this issue, and I look forward to being able to vote without fear when I am of age. Finally, the First Amendment of the Constitution guarantees the right of the media to communicate freely without any restrictions. Unlike in some other countries, the government can be openly criticized, and the press is not subject to censorship. The media has the potential to give people a voice, an outlet for their beliefs. My grandfather was a reporter who worked up to becoming an editor for Reuters, where he served for 40 years. He is a knowledgeable and sincere man who aimed to spread his message to readers of his wire service, so much so that he would race to a payphone to be the first to report information back to the news agency. Without democracy in place, he would be prohibited from spreading this information, leaving others uninformed about the world they inhabit. In summary, these three figures in my life have shaped my view of our current government tremendously and made me appreciate the diligent work our framers went through to ensure a righteous society. We must strive to protect the system of government and do our part to continue upholding the values and principles that our founding fathers established through the Constitution. It is our duty as citizens to participate in the democratic process, hold our elected officials accountable when necessary, and work towards a better future for ourselves and generations to come.
So I appreciate you, Uday and Felicia, for the deep thought that went into your essays and in conveying the values and ideals of this country. We're now going to transition to the VFW Smart Maher Teacher of the Year Award. So we, as a Crossroads community, nominated one teacher, and that teacher also made it to the district level. So this award emphasizes the teaching of citizenship skills, so kids are prepared to participate in our democracy. Personally and professionally, I've known this teacher for a good number of years, and I can attest to not only just the high level of care that she provides for kids, but also the meticulous attention to creating resources in order to bolster the curriculum. So I have a few quotes from colleagues that I'm just going to read, just so you can get a sense. This is a teacher who instills old school American values by creating a classroom of mutual respect, where all students take responsibility for their learning and all students feel free to voice their opinions. She possesses an unparalleled enthusiasm for history that is truly contagious. Her fervor for the subject matter is evident in her engaging teaching methods. She always finds ways to connect with her students, whether it's sharing her newest baking triumph or her visits to historic areas. So unfortunately, this teacher could not be here, but I'm privileged to announce that the teacher who reached the district level is Crossroads South social studies teacher, Mrs. Caroline Venturi.
Great.
So it's always a pleasure to recognize the efforts of our staff and students. At this point, I'm going to turn it over to Board President Mrs. Lisa Rogers.
Thank you so very, very much. I just want to make a quick comment on behalf of the board to the two students. That was an outstanding job. It really, really was. To know that you've been influenced and impacted by such an important thing is so important, not only to this town and to the state, but to the nation. You had mentioned your great-grandfather. I have to comment. I'm from Italian descent as well, and my grandfather, not my great-grandfather, my grandfather left Italy for the same exact reason. So that impacted me personally, and I thank you for that. But I do want you to know that we are so very, very proud of you. And to the parents, great job. I really mean that. You should be very proud of the accomplishments, and we look forward to great things from both of you. We really do. And to the Teacher of the Year, thank you. We hear a lot you hear it, unfortunately, on Facebook, about kids these days don't know about civics or history, but I know in this town, the kids know, and it's because of teachers like the Crossroads South, North, high school, all the grammar schools, to influence our children, again, appreciated by the entire Board of Education. Thank you so much. And considering that it is 7:45, and I know that tomorrow is Friday, you might have some homework to do. If you'd like to leave, you can leave. If not, you could sure stay and watch democracy in action. So it is up to you, but I'll take 2 minutes if you need to leave. Thank you again.
We can go?
No. We are going to hear reports from the committees and the liaison. So if I could have the following committees provide any report, I'd appreciate it. So we have Education Committee, any update? Oh, wrong way. I'm just looking at Dr. Raj. Sorry about that.
No, we haven't met this month. We meet in 2 weeks.
Okay,
So
very good. And the Business Operations Committee, that's down here.
We met the other night. We had a full board, myself, Mr. Krishna, and Mr. Mitchell, Mrs. Rogers, Mr. Federer, Mr. Pulowski, Mr. Redfield, our Director of Buildings and Grounds, and Ms. Ogden was there, the Director of Transportation. Our topics were sending out RFPs to discuss the professional services and the rationale as to why we will put out a request for proposal for services that are to the operation of the district. We are doing this because, like Mr. Federer said, we're anticipating a big cut. If we could save some money on whatever service, we're going to take that opportunity. We are looking at projects for the summer. Due to the budget constraints, we are looking to do minimal work on the district roofing at this time. So it gets moved to long-range planning. Mr. Pulowski brought up a possibility of additional solar opportunities that can bring in money into the district. This is available to do changes in the legislation regarding lease agreements. And then we were looking at what we might have to do with the new developments that are coming in town that will impact the district, specifically population of buildings and transportation efficiencies. The one development that's going to hit home as it's built is what? No?
We have no plan at this point that we are able to share at this point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we don't have a plan.
It's on here, so, okay. I won't share. Sorry about that. Let's move on.
Is that it? Okay. Thank you. And the Policy Committee? Did I do finance? No.
Policy committee met prior to the board meeting, and I will be providing an update at the next meeting. Once the minutes are up, it'll be updated to the board portal.
Thank you. And Finance Committee. I did that. Did I do that? No. Fine, Mike.
Madam President, the Finance Committee has not met and will not meet until Tuesday, the 27th of this month, which will be after the next board meeting, so you won't hear from us, a report from us until March.
Okay. And is there any liaisons that have any update? School liaisons? No? Very good. Oh, no.
I went to the Brunswick Acres, I guess, winter concert. It is just, so, I mean, what can you say? When you see all those kids up there and they're performing and they're happy and they're smiling and they sound great, it was just awesome. So I just kudos to Brunswick Acres.
Great. Any comments from the board? Yes, Mr. Mitchell.
Forgot to mention I had attended to two of my liaison schools, Cambridge and Indian Fields, their winter concerts as well. And kids did an excellent job. Parents were excited, so the kids were even more excited. So it just creates a wonderful environment to see parents so concerned and so supportive of their young people, and to see the work that they've put into to that point, put into up to that point to make it go well. So congratulations to all of our student musicians and singers.
Great.
Back to you, Madam President.
Thank you so much. Ms. Ferrer?
Yes, I attended the Brunswick Acres Science Fair, and I just wanted to comment on how well the students did at the science fair. They were all really, really happy to engage with me, and I especially liked the simulation on a hydraulic bridge by what looked like an 8-year-old girl. So we're really doing well with the science end of things at Brunswick Acres.
Very good. Great. Anybody else? No? Very good. Then we'll close that section of the agenda. Next is public comments. So the Board of Education recognizes the value of public comment on educational issues and the importance of allowing members of the public to express themselves on school matters of community interest. Complete copies of Policy 0167, which govern this portion of the meeting, are available to the public at the auditorium entrance, online, or by contacting the board office. To permit the fair and orderly expression of comments, we ask that participants be recognized by the presiding officer and preface comments by announcing his or her name, your place of residence, and your group affiliation if appropriate. Please complete the sign-in sheet at the podium. Please print legibly, or we may be unable to document your name for the permanent record. Each statement may be made by a participant shall be limited to 3 minutes. No participant may speak more than once on the same topic. Mr. Pawlowski will indicate when you have 15 seconds remaining. All statements shall be directed to the presiding officer. No participant may address or question board members. No discussion between a participant and respondent shall extend the 3-minute time limit. It is our plan to listen to each member of the public. Once all questions and comments from all members of the public are made, the Board of Ed may respond or respond via email in the most timely and efficient manner available. All questions and comments made will be noted. Mr. Pawlowski, is there anyone signed up?
We have no pre-registrations at this time.
Great. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to make a public comment on agenda items only? Seeing none, we will move on. Oh, did I miss? I'm sorry. It went up a little slow. Please step to the podium. I am so sorry. The items that that are on this agenda, or the consent agenda, what we are going to be voting on this evening. So if you'd like to tell us what it is at the podium, then we could tell you whether or not it's this comment or the second comment.
Okay.
We could tell you.
No problem. Well, I'm not even sure if the matter that I'm trying to bring before the board is on the agenda or not.
Okay, that's okay.
It's my personal concerns of things that's going on in the district.
Very good. So that's going to be on the second public comment, which will be just in a few minutes.
Okay.
You can
So I'll
sit
take
right
a seat
there.
right there.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, seeing none, we'll move on to old business. So just a point on the old business, we are going to just note the dais seating arrangement. As you will see that we've tried to stay within the same dais that we had last time. The goal is to at least have the board members interact with each other so that it's easier than going back side to side, and that it's in a more inclusive environment, if you will. You all received the document that I had sent out showing the survey results as well as NJSBA responses. So just to highlight very quickly, there were 2 questions, whether or not you liked the current arrangement or what improvements that you would like to see. And it was actually it was almost a perfect bell curve. So we show that there were responses, I believe it was 4 responses, if I'm reading this correctly, that you're very satisfied or satisfied with the arrangement as it is today. There were some that were not satisfied. There was also, what improvements would you make? Yes.
Just a question. Was the question about how we are today?
Yes.
Or how we were the other day?
Oh, I'm sorry. It was the other day, not right now, but the way it was set up before. the L. We'll call that the L. This is a curve, okay? So a lot of people stated that we should see one another, that they enjoyed being able to see the entire board, and that it was easier to see only two of the members, on this side versus the entire going back and forth, and the ability for board members to speak to each other without craning their neck. Also, what improvements would you suggest? There were a few, which I want to highlight, and that is, can we move to the cafeteria and just set up tables for the dais and have folks sit around the tables at the high school? One suggested to the left of the president should be the vice president and the original 4 members, the way that we had it originally. And that since we have limited access at the dais, would it be possible for the assistant superintendents to maybe sit in the audience, giving more room here? And then the others, one other comment was that the 3 board members that were on the L, okay, so let's remember that, would not be captured by the camera. So those were some of the comments that we received from this board. And then you also received some NJSBA responses, because I did send it out to New Jersey school boards. We got about, I think it was 13, I don't remember the exact number, of comments from other districts. And some of the other districts did state that they actually alternate in different schools during the school year, but they cannot videotape it for obvious reasons. They can't carry around the equipment. This allows interaction. There are some that use a large meeting room at the board admin complex. So in our case, we could go to Black Horse Lane like we did the retreat. So that was another option, so that we would have an actual you, because we are not presenting to the audience. We are having a meeting. And then a couple others just made us comment that they use very similar to ours. It is difficult because it's not in a U shape. And then others stated that, I'm just looking real quick, at the school auditorium, at the high school or the middle school, they were on the stage in the U shape. So those are some of the comments that we received back. And I just want to open it up for about 5 minutes at the most, for about 5 minutes at the most, to discuss what you guys think about the old format, the L format, and then this format. So I would just like to open that up for comments. Mr. Nathanson.
I like this format.
You like this format?
Correct. Because all the board, except for you and Ms. Hernandez, are together, and we can all look at each other and whatever. I prefer this format. The last format, I didn't like at all.
The L shape, you didn't like.
But to give you some history, when I first started, we were at the high school in the cafeteria in a U shape. It wasn't any better than this. You couldn't really talk to any more people than what was on the end. And the biggest problem, what you brought up, Madam President, is there were issues taping the meeting, plus there were issues with how the public was sitting.
Okay.
So because we had chairs on the same level as us in the cafeteria. So when this was built, we moved here. It allowed us to film the way it is now, and it's actually gotten better over the years, because we went from Comcast with our Access channel to actually being on YouTube, that you could see it when you can.
Okay.
And I think
this format
this format is good, and staying here is the best.
Okay, very good. Ms. Ferreira?
I just want to say that I think that the president should be in the middle of the table. I still feel strongly about that, because she is the chair of the board, and I feel that the board members should flank her on either side. That's just my belief.
Very good. Anyone else? Mr. Mitchell.
I agree with Mr. Nathanson, Madam President, that this format here, this setup is good, it's conducive. Had we gone to we went to the L for one meeting, and it was just uncomfortable looking to me.
It was
I've
what?
been
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
uncomfortable
It was
looking to
uncomfortable
me.
looking, okay.
I've been, a lot of people don't know, before coming here, I've been attending my own district board meetings for many, many years, over 20 years. So it's a little awkward to me, but I like this particular setup here.
I noted what Ms. Ferrer said. I just want to add that as a comment. Do you have any comment about where the president or the vice president sit?
I think Ms. Farrar has a point.
Okay,
I think the president should be in the middle,
okay.
along with the vice.
Barry, what about that? President in the middle? It doesn't matter to you?
Doesn't
Okay.
matter.
Okay.
You kind of in the middle anyhow.
Okay.
So I don't know what the middle does for the president, really and truly.
Okay.
You're controlling the meeting where you are, and the vice president's next to you. It's
Okay.
and you're on camera. I looked at last meeting, and I've looked at I look at all the meetings, and it last meeting was not good on camera. This would flow better.
Okay.
And you being next to the superintendent is important.
That's important, right?
And you having your vice president next to you is fine.
Okay. All right, very
I
good.
don't, moving one chair is not going to make a difference.
Okay. Any other comments? Deepa, Dr. Raj? No? Ms. Karthik? Sorry, I used the first names and I
That's
shouldn't.
all right, yeah.
My apologies to the board members.
We should use first names because that's what we're used to. So I just want everybody to know that if sometimes I'm looking this way, it's not because I'm distracted or I'm not listening to you, because my neck, if I have to, for 2 hours, if I have to look this way, I'm probably going to have...
Want to switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I will be looking all over.
Okay.
Just sort of, because it's not practical. Neither would you be able to look for the next 2 hours towards me. So I think that's what it is. Ideally, if you could have really had an L, but then we would have to worry about that podium there. We'd have to worry about a lot of things, and
Right.
then we don't have enough room to back up here to create that space. So I don't know how we are going to work this.
So what would your recommendation be?
For now, I'm comfortable with how this is.
Okay.
But I just want you to know that if I'm not looking at you constantly when you're speaking, or when Mr. Feder is speaking, or somebody else, it's not because I'm distracted or anything. It's just because it's hard to look continuously in one direction all the time.
Are you going to be offended if she looks okay? And I completely understand what you're saying. I appreciate that. Anyone else down there? Ms. Hernandez?
Yeah, I like the comment that you make that this is a meeting, this is a board meeting, that we're not, it's a board meeting that has the public attending. And it's really a meeting that we're having with 9 people plus the superintendent, the BA, and the assistant soups. I feel like now that I'm sitting next to Lisa, that's great, but I'm still at the end. Like the entire board's over there. So I'm still at the end, constantly looking this way. All the board meetings I've been to, I know we talked about taking out this front row where people just don't sit, so we have a U shape. I like the U shape. I think that's great. I also, and I will be the first one to admit it, suggested that the assistant soups maybe sit in the audience as opposed to having this table so long here that we would have, sorry, Suzanne. This table's so long. So we're having an actual meeting that the public is viewing, as opposed to us having a performance in front of the public.
Okay. All right. So what's going to happen is, and we're not going to do it tonight, I will send out an email wrapping this up. I'm going to see if we can make a decision with that email, and then for the next meeting, that'll be the format that we use moving forward. Yes, please.
There cannot be any discussion about this topic by email, period.
No.
None.
I'm going to send out the notice that says these were the ideas, and this is based on the comments tonight.
It's a one-way communication,
Thank you.
summarizing the meeting. It is not a back and forth conversation.
Correct.
Yes.
Yep. Any other comments on this issue? Yes, Dr. Raj.
I tend to agree with Ms. Hernandez.
Is what?
Ms. Hernandez. I tend to agree with Ms. Hernandez. Yeah.
She agrees. Okay. Okay.
Lisha's got something.
Madam President, even, if you could, the student rep who's not actually actively participating in the meeting. So if she's part of, I know we have a seat for her, which is the right thing to do, but if we could think, since we have a space constraint, if she could, when she provides a report, obviously after that she leaves the board meeting, we could have her sit in the audience so that we have a little bit more space to sort of maneuver with one less seating space.
Okay.
The student rep by law.
Yeah, it has to be at the, it has to be at the dais.
Has to be at the dais?
Yeah.
So who are the people who don't need to be at the dais by law?
I didn't hear your question.
Assistant superintendent.
I'm sorry, I really didn't hear your question.
I said, Mr. Feder just made a comment that the student rep has to be at the dais by law.
Right.
Are all of us required to be by law at the table? Every one of us here?
Who's not required by law to
be
be
at
at
the
this
table.
table?
Oh, okay, all right, let me follow up on that. Let me,
Okay.
I don't know that answer.
Oh, okay, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
all right. And I'm also going to speak with Mr. Feder on this too, to make sure that, especially when it comes to the 3 assistant superintendents, if we should or should not, we'll have a discussion offline.
Yeah, I just thought of the student rep because I thought that was a,
Yeah, but by law, yeah, they have to sit here.
Okay, okay.
All right. Let me just make a note for assistant. All right, any other comments? Yes, Alicia. I'm sorry, Ms. Scott.
I just want to note that I agree with Mr. Nathanson and Mr. Mitchell that I prefer the U shape, and I think the L shape was a little bit awkward last time, but
Okay.
I don't have any problem seeing anyone right now.
This more of a U shape is good. Okay. Any other comments? Anybody else? Okay, very good. So we're not going to close it out. It will be finalized next meeting, and then I'll close this off of the old business. Any other comments? None? Very good. Thank you so much for your input. I really appreciate the time that you took. The next order of business is new business. Seeing none, we shall move on to the consent agenda review by Mr. Pawlowski, please.
Good evening, everybody. We have a quick agenda for us this evening. We have a bills list, some transportation contracts. We're awarding and rejecting some bids. We have a service agreement through the E-rate, which with LightPass, we're moving away from Comcast, seeing some savings in that RFP that went out through our E-rate consultant. We're approving a non-public technology order for one of our private schools in the district. We're approving some funds for, that's chapter 193. We're also accepting a donation for the PTO over at Brooks Crossing. We're approving a resubmission of an application for our Impact Tutoring Grant. We have a donation from the Education Foundation for South Brunswick. That is a donation that was made once already, but we are re-upping the motion to include also our middle schools. We have an out-of-district tuition. We're approving some related travel. Some student field trips, an HIB report. We have a HIB report or a case that we are changing the ruling, rescinding the original ruling. We have an approved an extension of services for our special education population, and we have a settlement agreement and a general release.
Great. Thank
Other
you,
than
sir.
that, it's personnel, and that's your consent agenda this evening.
Thank you very much for that update. Any comments or questions for Mr. Pawlowski? Seeing none, may we have a vote? Mr. Pawlowski, roll call.
Can I get a motion in a second?
Oh, I'm sorry, my fault.
Move the approval.
May I have a motion?
Move it.
Mr. Nathanson, Ms. Ferrera, second? All, no, we don't
Okay.
have to do that, never mind.
Roll call. Ms. Julie Ferrara?
Accept?
Ms. Laura Hernandez?
Yes.
Ms. Deepa Karthik? Ms. Alicia Khan?
Yes.
Mr. Raja Krishna?
Yes.
Mr. Mike Mitchell?
Yes.
Mr. Barry Nathanson?
Yes.
Dr. Smitha Raj?
Yes.
Mrs. Lisa Rogers?
Yes,
Motion carries.
very good. Thank you so very much. Okay, moving on. We are going to now move on to the second public comments. This is the second opportunity for the public to comment on any matter. You are reminded of the previous statement made regarding public comment rules of policy 0167. Again, at the podium, please state your name, spell your name, and announce your place of residence and/or your group affiliation, if appropriate. Complete the sign-in sheet, and you are again limited to 3 minutes. Mr. Pawlowski, do we have any members of the public who are pre-registered?
We have no pre-registrations, but we have somebody here that's
Yes,
eager to
We
share with us a
do.
public
Yes,
comment.
ma'am. You may step up to the podium. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Okay.
Sorry, it's a lot
That's
getting
okay.
up out the chair. Okay, my name is Tawana Peterson. That is spelled Twana, Peterson, Peterson. I live here in South Brunswick, and my son goes to Brunswick Acres School.
Thank you.
I have a few concerns regarding HIP laws and what exactly the board's place or what is it that they do or can do. My son has been called the N-word twice, 2 separate HIP laws that had to be conducted. And today he has locks in his hair, and today another HIP law was opened because another student now said he looked like he has Cheetos in his head. And they also said he's gay due to him hanging out with his friends to own too much. I've brought this concern to, and I don't know if I can, I know the first time you said I can't address anybody, so I guess I'll speak in general. I've brought this concern to transportation because some of the incidents happened on the bus. I've brought the concern to Jill at transportation, whoever on South Brunswick on transportation lady is. I brought it to Ms. Ta. We've sat down and had a conversation with Ms. Turner and Ms. Ta, and that was for the first incident. I've brought it to the superintendent, the superintendent's secretary, and I truly feel like I'm not getting the response that is needed for this. This is one child, he's 10 years old, and being subjected to ignorance. Let's just put it out there. He's being subjected to all of this verbal abuse. And I heard Mr. Fetter earlier said, you know, sometimes you have to do things so the parents can have the parents to be affected by it as well, because at this point I'm at a loss. I'm not going to get up and just uproot myself from South Brunswick just because, you know, this is happening. But at the same time, I'm expecting the administrators to do their part. And I truly feel like no one on the administrative team is taking it seriously. I'm being asked questions like, well, what do you want us to do? Something. This is one child, 3 HIB law investigations. 3. 2 in which he was called the N-word. It's unacceptable. And I will not tolerate it. When I'm writing emails back and forth, it's like, oh, you know, what do you want us to do? Or we hope you respond more positively. As a parent, from the beginning, I've been positive. But what do you expect? It's only February. The whole school year we don't even go a whole 12 months first and foremost, but the whole school year hasn't even finished, and 3 times my son is being targeted.
You have 3 minutes. There's not a line, so we can hear you.
Extend
continue.
you for another minute if you'd like.
Look, the only thing I'm asking is something be done.
Okay.
Something be done and it not be put back on me as a parent. Because the same question I've asked everybody that I said I spoke to, the same thing I asked them was, how am I supposed to teach my child not to be biased? What as a parent I'm supposed to do now? When he's saying, well, Mom, why is they doing this? What does this mean? Why? What am I supposed to do? The administrators are doing nothing, in my opinion. I've asked for meetings since December, nothing. I'll leave you guys with that.
Thank you for your comment.
Thank you, ma'am, for your comments. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Is there anyone else in the audience that would like to make a public comment? Seeing none, we will close this portion of the meeting. Okay. If there is no further business to be discussed, please note the next scheduled Board of Ed meeting is set for Thursday, February 22nd, 2024. May I have a motion to adjourn and second? Dr. Raj moved.
Second.
Mr. Mitchell second. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. And the meeting is now adjourned at 8:15. Thank you and good night, South Brunswick.